Hello, everyone, to the newest episode of the Nitro Racing League podcast, where we're going to talk about past week's events in Nitro. And that's pretty much it, and things that are coming up as well. Um, this past week, we've had Baku for our F1 league and the final start of the final season of the NASCAR Heat Series for Daytona 500. Um, I am KarmaMJO, aka Matt O'Brien, owner of the Nitro League. We have Too Lazy to Win, also known as
Hey,
Justin, and
how y'all doing?
then we also have Puck Drop, also known as Duncan. And this week's
That's my
episode,
name.
it is your name. And we both, all of us did the race, all the racing there was this week, and I would say we've all had very varying results.
Nice way
Uh,
to put it.
Uh,
if I know what happened in you guys' Daytona races, which I'm not sure about, I think we all had bad races for both, actually,
Well, like
I
or
no,
bad endings at least.
I didn't
I
have.
ran up front a lot, but I
Well,
just had a terrible finish. So
uh, mm, bad ending in one way, but I mean my finish was fine.
Okay.
I finished fourth.
F1, on the other hand, everything for me is bad.
I don't think any of us want to talk about F1 really.
Uh, Problem number one for my F1 race, all 0.8 laps of it.
0.8.
I'll just
That was half the field.
Yeah, 4 of us total. Not to mention a fifth guy killed himself during the safety car.
Yeah, Master Killer DNF under safety car.
Yeah, which is honestly even worse, but somehow goes under the radar more because at
Well,
least he
and
didn't
then
kill.
just to go in Daytona real quick, he didn't start, and he was supposed to start fourth. So Master had a terrible night, just overall. But go on.
Man,
I think a lot of us had
yeah.
terrible.
So problem number one heading into F1 is too much iRacing, not enough Xbox.
Dude,
I
when you get iRacing, you don't want to play anything else.
I I neglected the prep way too much because I mean I'd be lying if I said I didn't do at least some prep for ex- especially F1, like running like full races, really hammering out those time trials, seeing where I'm weak, talking to my teammate Mahoo, trying to iron out our race details. Um, I was I've never felt so unsmooth behind the wheel. Just the change in physics for me. I couldn't do anything about it. Like I just felt like a robot even though I was playing like 2 hours in advance just nonstop.
Yeah.
And as a result, I got an okay quality lap, started like 6 on the grid, which was a decent sized field, so
Yeah,
that wasn't bad, but
14 or 15.
yeah, I was down to like P9, P10 before the incident, just losing out in pretty well every corner. Also, just kind of being passive because I've had terrible lap one luck even prior to this in recent weeks.
Well, week one, you were the one who caused the massive pile up on the first lap, but
Bahrain was legendary.
I see. I seem to go back and forth between just unfortunate events being my fault or someone else's. And I have to say it's 50-50 on this one because had I raced the way I expect myself to, I wouldn't be behind Lazy, who wrecked and took me out. So
Totally.
that's
Oh,
how I felt.
and it was no ordinary wreck. So of course, because the cars are gonna be heavy, and I prepare for that. I expect that, even though I don't do much testing. I just know back end's probably gonna go out, so should have little lift, whatever. I did not expect it to go sideways on the very last corner on the exit. I
Yeah,
mid
it
corner,
does
sure,
that.
but
It does that
right at
every
the
time.
very exit, and then I race car reactions, steer the other way and hit
Now,
the brakes.
now in the
But
practice you did, Puck, because I know you use wheel.
hmm
Does it get slidey through the S?
I've personally never had that problem, but I can probably collect the car differently. Not to mention, I was really aggressive on the curbing for
Mhm.
both the inside, like because it's a left and then a right, just
Yeah.
flat out. And I was hooking up the curbing on both sides of it, so I think I was giving it less wheel overall while being riskier. It probably wasn't gonna snap the rear as easily,
Yeah.
at least not until the end of the run.
Yeah. And then there was probably almost the shocking thing, like midway through the race when me and Gail said what preset we did.
Yeah, to, I mean, I don't think it's a secret at this point. Like, I'm always on a higher preset than most people. It's just preference to me at this point. I feel like,
Well, it was because me and Gail discovered something.
yeah, and that was interesting. But I just, what I mean, preset 4 straight line, preset 2, uh,
It was
I mean,
weird.
better turn hypothetically,
Yeah,
but I
preset 2 is whack.
which works really well for Mahoo, but I feel like I get the same cornering on both presets. So to me, why not just take the extra straight line if that's the only difference to me?
Uh, but no, I mean, me and Gail discovered that you just lower the front wing on preset 3 and you get same straight line speed, so but more turn, so that's what we went with. But
Maybe next season I'll finish a Baku race, or at least DNF in a different corner.
yeah, Baku and DNFing is pretty goes hand in hand in Nitro. So uh, I was running pretty well most of the race.
Yeah. Well, you were in a better strategy situation at the end because I mean the Alpines had to
Yeah,
not
the
take
safety
mediums,
car.
which it was a very medium tire kind of race distance
Yeah,
with 11, 12 laps
I
to
was like,
go.
because in the heat of the moment, I was like, why did they go on hards? I was like, yeah, that's why, because they couldn't put mediums on.
Would they have been in better position had it stayed green?
No,
Mm,
if it
no.
stayed green, me and
Yeah.
Kermit still would have been 1-2. Would have ended up 1-2. Because even we
Well,
pulled 6 seconds on them.
if it stayed green, however, Mahoo doesn't speed under safety car, so maybe just maybe he
You
works.
know, you know,
It was a big deficit.
Mahu was having a interesting race, wasn't he?
Oh yeah.
He jumped the
That
start. Surprisingly, no one else jumped with him because, like, when I do public races with, like, Gary and stuff. When one person jumps, like, everybody jumps. It's hilarious. I'm surprised no one
I
actually bid.
I've had that happen a few times. Like I remember there was a race last year where someone did that, and like I just like no, don't do it. So, but yeah, other people who knows.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then so basically, I led then the instant safety car. I pitted to get the adjustment in, got back to the lead. Safety car came out in my favor for once in my life.
Yeah, because I wasn't there to have any say about it.
Yeah, thank you, Lazy. And then I led. Kermit was faster than me. He passed me with a few laps to go. And then that's all we're going to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Hey, if I can have an embarrassing accident where I get flipped over on the first lap, then we can talk about your embarrassing accident.
No.
So
I think my personal video on my personal channel explains it perfectly of how I feel about it.
I haven't even seen it yet.
I
As
didn't
soon
you say
as soon as it happens, the video
yeah,
ends.
That's great.
that's lazy editing.
It was not lazy editing; it was
You're
comedic
like a
editing.
real NASCAR driver, just afraid to show
Like
raw emotion.
my
No,
my uh my my video is just a 30-second clip from Twitch. That's it.
I've seen
That's all you need
that.
to know.
I've seen that. I think that's I can't remember a time where a car in Nitro F1 literally flipped.
I got punted.
It doesn't matter how it happened. You got
Mhm.
flipped.
Oh, geez, I took half the grid out with me too. So
Yeah.
Another disappointing part about that was I did kind of see it as well as I could have, and I was on the
There's just
brakes,
nothing you
and
can do.
I was probably down to like 50 or 40 miles per hour when contact was made, and there
Yeah.
just wasn't a gap.
who was it? Who was the other
So
avatar that got involved in it?
it
LCS who
was,
went 5 miles an hour
Yeah,
into the car and the car
yeah, that
self-destructed.
same damage,
was
by
the
the way.
worst.
That was pretty bad and funny at the same time.
Like, blows the tire, okay, but then the whole suspension falls apart. Like, what?
Yeah.
But he would have. It's not like he could have just sat there and waited for like you guys to despawn because you do get DSQ'd for being stopped on track.
Mm,
Although maybe he could have pulled to the left. I don't know how
He
much
could have
wiggle
reversed.
room
He could have
there.
reversed a bit.
I guess.
But I mean, yeah, that was tough because the entire track was just blocked. Period.
oh yeah. Now, if the F1 game still had red flags, like the Xbox 360 ones did, that absolutely would have been a red flag.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. So Kermit won his first race. Kermit didn't shoot himself in the foot and he won a race. What a coincidence, huh?
Yeah, there was because what we do for practice is we kind of have a Honda powered practice.
I noticed
So
you LCS and
yeah, it's the four of us running, and we're not that linked together, but we just do practice laps on track together and just pitch a couple ideas. The actual strategies itself are never communicated between each other. But we were just telling him like he has the raw pace. It's just on him to not be going at 100% during race trim, which has been his fault. Just telling him go like 85 or 90% as hard as what he knows he can, and better things will come of it. And I think that showed.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, Points are tied now too because of Mahu's shenanigans.
Mahu can't stop having shenanigans.
Yeah, it's crazy. The thing it feels inevitable at some point. He's just gonna pull away. Oh,
Anyway,
realistically, because like you look at
yeah.
his time trial times, and you're just like, there's an argument to put that this guy's probably like that does just runs exclusively preset setups. He's one of the fastest guys in the world right now.
Yeah. Like the thing is, well, I just feel like he's having like one of those like like one of those F1 seasons where Lewis Hamilton like didn't start out too great. Everyone was like, oh, he's not gonna win the championship, even though the Mercedes is
But that's
better
not
car.
it. That's not
Yeah.
it.
No, it's
He's the
just you're
fastest.
saying like, yes, if everyone knew Lewis was the fastest, it's just inevitable.
It just
It's
feels like
going
he
to
gets.
happen.
It feels like he gets more in tune with the physics engine of every game he touches than what any of us can.
I am become the game.
I'm scared. I'm telling you, man. I'm scared when he gets iRacing. I really am.
It's all over.
From what I know, Spain is actually one of his better tracks too. So that's just he might start lapping like competitive player.
Well, next week's winner is.
Well, we'll see. I think Spain's interesting because I was doing time trial.
Yeah.
I was doing time trial, and my optimal was able to match him. I just didn't want to spend an hour trying to match what he ran. But
well, sorry, aren't tire strategies weird though? Like
no,
no, okay.
there's only one option, and the other anything else is
Yeah,
or
but
is idiotic.
with the nature of our races, honestly, I think you can start on an idiotic strategy or be safe and start in the back on the hards, just because that safety car will happen.
You
and
will
then
eventually end up on an idiotic.
There's so many death curves at Spain in this game. It's
yeah. I mean, I can think of
turn
two
1,
personally.
turn 2, 6, 7.
For me, it's all the second sector. The
turn
right-hander.
Turn 1 can kill you. Turn 2 can kill you. A lot of sector 2 can kill you. Yeah, like the fast right-hander.
That's the worst
Yeah,
one to me.
yeah, that one's rough
But
because it's like it's all about how much speed you carry. It's like you got to carry so much speed through it.
another rough one for me is so after that DRS straight, you got your left-hander. God, I
That
wish I
kink
knew.
is deadly. That kink's deadly.
Yeah, yeah. The kink is so weird because like
It's off
you
camber.
yeah, I feel like you're supposed to actually be mostly in the gas through it, but like I just don't trust it the stick.
Yeah. And then the chicane is awful because that's gonna be the Florida Destructo 6000.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyone that's run Spain knows what the strategy is.
It's been a very long time since we've seen rain in a nitro race.
Yeah, we're due for one for sure.
I smell script.
Oh.
Joking.
I've never scripted, but I remember the one season we didn't get to like 2 races left before it rained. So that's how it goes sometimes. But
Oh.
yeah, I mean, it really does feel like Mahu's eventually just gonna run away with it. That's how it's gonna be. So yeah, we went back to NASCAR Heat 5 again. Ooh.
Yay. Thanks, Motorsport Games.
Thanks, Motorsport Game. Yeah. Be out of business in a month.
I saw someone today called the entire franchise a cash grab, and like it's looking that way.
Can't be a cash grab if you don't make cash off it.
That is true.
But yeah, we had our Daytona 500. We actually did single car qualifying and duels Friday night before the race. Admittedly, the qualifying took a long time, but it was the appropriate way to do it.
Oh,
enjoyed it.
Yeah, actually, I'm not going to get into it, but I think there was a better way for us to do the times instead of the honor system. Had you set it to like a 4-lap race and then just finish like 2 slow laps, it would have just appeared on screen.
Yeah.
But like other than that, I think it was properly done.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think anyone really made anything up.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Everything seemed in order.
Who got pole, just like everyone predicted.
Shocking.
He's so good. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. My lap was pretty scruffy, but I was on controller for Daytona because
it was amazing.
Like how the wheel felt.
So. Even for just a flat out lap around Daytona, he still had like little like tips and secrets to offer up. I mean, obviously I didn't apply them perfectly because I started very midfield out of the qualifying session, a second down to him, but he knew what he was.
What were the secrets? Because it doesn't matter anymore.
Well, jeez, fair enough. Well, to be fair, we've said that before.
Well, this time's for real though.
Yeah, no, it was just like entering in like a lane up from the bottom, hitting the bottom, then exiting like a lane up, and it just gave you better momentum. It was the weirdest thing, but I started to feel it when I did it correctly.
Kind of makes sense.
It makes sense. It's just, yeah.
Could be like how the grip lanes work, I guess.
Because I noticed people were doing that. I was like, yeah, that's weird. Yeah, and then we had the duels. The first one was pretty quiet. Mahu won.
Yeah.
He was playing shenanigans. Me and Mahu were playing shenanigans on the last lap. So
I think the second duel being more eventful was actually inspired by the first one being boring because we were just sitting in a party watching it and we were like, you know what, guys, like let's experiment here.
It's not wrong. Like we're all watching it, just kind of bored, and so next race, like it's like, let's go and actually have like a race. So and you see like and you'll see whenever I finish my video that like it's only like lap 4 or 5. I just give Chafee the massivest shove going in turn 1, and he just straight up tore someone and caused a wreck.
We were quite adamant about everyone just trying the second lane because I mean it's good knowledge to have.
Yeah. Yep. All that knowledge really came in to fruition in the actual 500, right?
Well, it's just pathetic. you want to have the tools even if you don't need to use them.
Yeah.
The Ford group, us Ford group kind of made it work, but we'll get into that.
I mean, if you're talking about
Not the finish.
the green flag pit stop, that's different. But yeah, we had 31 people for the main race.
32, but the aforementioned.
Yeah. 31 started. What were your thoughts going into that? Oh, we have 31 people. My thoughts was it was going to be completely awful and horrendous.
Same. I was just thinking back to what was it that Bud shootout we did about a year ago now? Or no, it was last. Hold on, what year is it now? 2022.
It is 2020.
Yeah, July of 2020. Because didn't E5 come out like really early that year?
Yeah, it came out in July. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I was thinking back to how like that race had I don't think a single green flag lap. Just like, oh, yeah, this is probably gonna go this way. But
I
when
think
we
everyone...
made it just a lap, I was amazed.
Yeah, and then we went another one. Then we went like 16 laps, and you're like, oh, this might not be horrible after all. Turns out the race was not actually horrible. It was actually decent enough. Admittedly boring. But
I am finding that boring, but I mean...
I was fine. I was 100% fine for this race being boring.
Yeah. I remember someone said from a TV perspective, everyone would be hating it. But from our perspective, we were enjoying it, so...
Yeah. For sure. I mean, what... Did your parties have any plans? Really? Because I'm like... we just kind of went in. It's like, yeah, we get together at some point. Yeah.
I'm curious to know what Puck's plan was.
I don't really know if we had like a specific plan. I mean, ideally we just all wanted to connect no matter where we were, but I mean, not many of us had the chance to do that with Mahoo, who is pretty well the only go-getter out of our party. I was kind of linked up with him with like 10 to go around the fringe top 5. Combat made his way up there a couple times earlier, but we weren't able to get like the masses up there to really go for it. I honestly spent a majority of my race like below P20, and on a later restart I took the outside and found a gap on the inside and just jumped like 10-15 positions.
I think that's very different from what happened because I was in the top 10 the entire race.
Yeah, I was gonna say I did not see that 19 car very often.
No, no. I mean, honestly, besides the mistake that Jonathan and Kermit made, and they got straight back to the front somehow. I have no idea how they did that, but
I think it was the choose roll.
Yeah,
because that's how after. Admittedly, it's later on the race, but after you wrecked me, that's how I got myself back up to the front.
yeah,
the Ford plan, at least our Ford group, was everyone get in a line and stick together. And we did that for the first 20 laps, and it worked perfectly. So, but as the race went on, it kind of, like, we get a couple of us separated, then we go back together, and then we get a couple of us separated. But, like, for the most part, as long as someone in our party was ahead of us or behind us, we just stayed on their butt.
yeah.
So.
It was a difficult race for me. My force feedback settings, or some sort of sensitivities, just were not where I wanted it to be. Like, I've never had so much trouble just like running in a straight line without my wheel just tugging and pulling everywhere.
Yeah, it felt weird. Definitely going back to Heat 5 for sure. One thing I was curious was there was the caution like in the late 40s.
Mm-hmm.
I know the JGR boys. We were all talking about it. Of are you gonna try to? Are we trying to one stop this? Did you guys have any talk about it?
I don't think that came up in our group, like, was it a situation where, like, you
We-
realistically still had, like, 15 laps of gas, and
Oh, I
it
know
was
what you're talking about. You said caution in the
like
late 40s,
a good
correct?
position kind of thing?
Yeah,
Oh.
because it was when the green flag pit stops were gonna happened, like the run that happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we were talking about trying to one stop it,
Hmm.
and like we were close
Uh,
to doing it. But the issue as soon as Mahu pitted so early, we were like, yeah, get jigs up. We've got to just go, and just if it goes green, we can take less fuel on the last stop.
hmm.
Because like
No,
when Mahu pitted, I had like 5 laps left.
yeah, he did come down a little bit earlier, but I think we all agreed in our party, or at least maybe not agreed, but I was definitely pushing this idea, like, get down like a lap or two earlier. Just don't risk being caught up in the big mess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you've watched my video when when the green flag stops happen, when Joseph came
Mhm.
up, oh my god, that
Oh,
was
and
so.
the 30. Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
It's like and Lazy knows like how the Toyotas came back out.
Mhm.
Imagine if that didn't happen, how far we would have been gone. Like
Yeah.
Yep.
the Toyotas would have been gone.
Joseph was having an amazing run
Yeah.
for most of the day. I don't know where he ended
Yeah.
up, but
But that
Uh,
issue like
mhm.
cost probably the JGR guys like 2 to 3 seconds.
Mhm.
Honestly,
I
if like we didn't have that issue, like I don't know if you guys can catch up. I don't
I was
know.
I was disconnected through something at some point
Yeah.
earlier in the run, so it was pretty frustrating for
I
me.
noticed that every time we would go like 10 laps, there'd be like 5 little packs got like really far back
Mhm.
do checkups and stuff.
Yeah. So like to tell you what the Ford group was doing, or at least again my Ford group. Yeah, during that whole sequence, which, by the way, I think if I'm correct, that was almost a 25 lap run. Which is impressive. But anyway, I was the shortest on gas by like 3 laps.
Oof.
So they're just like, we'll just come in with you and like, well, what
Mhm.
lap's that gonna be? It's like, oh, it's gonna be the nice lap, of course. We all came in on the nice lap, and Mahu just so happened to come in with us. But yeah, I guess whatever. I should screw you Toyota guys up. Would have worked in our favor had we not on what lap is. I've got my video up right now.
If
I
I
actually
didn't
don't.
come up and
Yeah,
kill you.
I don't have my lap counter up, but yeah, I get doored, and then I get doored again, and I get
And
ping ponged, and
again,
then I'm
bing
dead.
bong.
Oh,
And I'm and
y-
something I want to know is who called the caution when that happened.
I did.
Okay, because in the video, and you hear me, I screw up. At first, I said there's no way that's 2, and I meant to say there's no way that's 1 because I saw myself as like, when all that happened,
Yeah.
as the only one who wrecked. I didn't know if anyone else did or not.
Mhm.
So
I do have another interesting detail. I want to say it was like 9 or 8 to go left in the race. Mahu was fifth, I was sixth. 3 JGR boys, and then Eagle.
Yeah.
We had gotten a pretty good feeling that you guys didn't want to go until the last lap, just in case you didn't make it, because then you just fall all the way back down. I mean, if the run doesn't work, then you still get a good result. Maybe you were gonna catch him off guard, but anyways, we had agreed that we were gonna go with Eagle because we figured if you three got out on front, then there was zero chance. If we went with Eagle, we could at least steal the positions from you.
Mhm.
Then us two could maybe take a crack at him if there's enough time, or maybe even find a 3
Uh,
wide.
our plan was a little cheeky, but it just we never got to run long enough at the end, But our plan was really cheeky.
Were you just gonna like completely stack us up and build like a half-second gap?
Well, it was half that, but the third guy in line, whoever the third guy in line wouldn't go. So if it failed, they would we can try again.
That's, I mean,
It's cheeky. It's
that's the nature of the game. I mean,
yeah.
you have to do.
You have to do
foolish
cheeky
stuff
stuff.
like
I mean,
Yeah.
people. It's like I think I was like the first guy to start doing cheeky stuff a few seasons ago, like even before you were here, Puck. And
Mhm.
then everyone started like, yeah, you have to do the cheeky stuff.
I noticed, you just remind me, I noticed somewhere in the race, I don't remember if it was you behind me or if it was Jonathan, but someone was laying way back while we were all just riding around line, getting a massive run, and then just not going with it. And I kept saying the whole time,
Was it the long run?
yeah, I kept saying the whole time, I was like, they're testing this for late in the race. I already know.
No, that's just saving gas from the
Ah.
one stop. Literally that entire run, that entire run, we were basically half throttle the entire run.
Jesus.
We saved four laps of gas.
I never got. Y'all were testing your winning move.
I already know what to do. And if you watch my video, it was set up perfectly to do it. And then Jonathan and Kermit get bumper glitched.
Oof.
Like if you watch it, you're like you see what I had prepared, and you're just like, there's no way they can stop this.
I mean, they could throw the worst blocker eyes of ever.
Well, yeah. Like they would have had to wreck me to stop it. But I didn't
expect that to happen.
I mean, Eagle would have. I'm pretty confident Eagle would have doored anyone.
One of my cool little tricks from my playbook has actually just gone up in the air because we don't do stages anymore. I executed this correctly, and I think Dega Trucks and both.
Yeah, you can play with 2 to go.
Both Speedway or Super Speedway races in Xfinity. Yeah, just pit with 2 to go, especially at Talladega, because I hit the pits before you guys hit the line where it's past the tri-oval, and I just get to stay out under under yellow, and I mean, it's a track position game. I'm not gonna lose it.
Yeah.
It's better done during stage 1 because then after stage 2, I'm completely on the same strategy as you guys because I'm not a couple laps shorter.
Yeah.
My other cool little trick I like to do, and this only works when I'm out in front, is I get very paranoid that people are trying to build runs up to me, which, I mean, people probably laying off just thinking that every once in a while. So when people start to fall off of me, I then go up a lane. So
I've done that
when
before.
so when they're building back up, they're not getting the draft off me, and then I cut back down before they get to that gap.
Yeah, that's another way to do it too.
I mean, of course.
Play racing is just a lot of mind games.
Oh yes.
It's just tactics that everyone has to do it because.
Interesting tactics. You gotta say it right.
Interesting tactics, because it's the only way you can really do anything. Yeah.
Also, I think this is kind of worth throwing out there. As far as like my feelings about driver etiquette and stuff like that with any driver, I've just said to myself, like, I'm just gonna reset to 0 with everyone, good and bad, and then let how I race other people just kind of develop individually as the season goes on. And as far as Daytona goes, I'm not gonna remember any of that stuff. It's not worth it. But like, I if I feel certain guys are chopping noses or running me up the racetrack, I'll like make physical notes of it, and throughout the season, I'll start to kind of drive the same way. And it goes the other way, where I think if people are going to treat me nicely, then I'll want to do the same, especially like if they've got an overcut on me and they're faster and I know there's no way I keep the position. Just stuff like that. I think everyone should have at least a similar mindset, just like forget some of the beef from last season.
Beef. Yeah, no, I don't have any. I don't.
Not that I
keep-
really had any like
I don't. I don't
crazy
typically
track.
keep bad blood unless you really irk me in a way.
There's really no one in the league at the moment that I like can't stand anymore. Like, there's people who like during races I'll get pissed off at, but like I'm not like
There's a few I can.
I am not the Kurt Busch anymore. Or if I am, I'm the current one who's all nice and happy and is grateful to be here.
Yeah. But I gotta ask after the results. I mean, I got 4th, but you two didn't finish very well. Lazy, how does it feel to be 95 points behind after one race?
I mean,
And Puck, how does it feel to be 99 points behind?
it feels weird, but the thing is, I know that if I like, this is a incredible thing if it does happen. But if I somehow manage to win a single race, be it the next one, then and if Eagle has a terrible race, suddenly everything just swings back to 0 or so. I enjoy the chaos.
I think we'll see how it plays out more by like race 5.
Yeah, I mean, my current objective is to make the chase. I wouldn't expect much more. I mean, some top 5s are nice. I don't see myself winning or being in the top 5 of that chase. But finish was rough for me.
Yeah.
I was like 19th-ish when the big one was unfolding in front of me. I was in that kind of weird gap where there wasn't enough time to react and really avoid it.
Yeah.
And I guess with all the ping pong effects, I just wasn't pointed in the right direction compared to my competitors. I was airborne as well, and I landed facing the wrong direction, so it took a lot to.
Did you finish?
It came out to 26th, I believe.
Yep.
Oh my dear God.
Which, like I said, it wasn't far off of what would have been the end result had we stayed clean.
Yeah.
I was right there at the top 10 right when it happened, and I saw it all. It literally happened in my face. So like, someone got crossed up with someone else and got in the wall, and there was a gap in the middle, and I
think
took it.
Like I hit the wall trying to make a move.
Okay.
And I came back down. I was in front of Kyle Busch, but he rear-ended me, and then he got so slow, and then everyone behind me, it was a giant stack up, and I was like, uh-oh.
Who
posted? Because I saw... How go on?
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna ask real quick. Who posted the clip of them doing a front flip and then just landing on all fours?
The 96, Joe. That was Joe. That was incredible. Amazing 10 out of 10 clip.
It was still like a 21st, but like still.
Yeah. Yeah. No, my POV of the wreck isn't that amazing. So I saw someone, and then Riley stacked up, Chafee stacked up, Combat stacked up, and I tried to go split the middle, and then Mahu and Combat got together, and it was the rear end of Combat's car that caught mine and wrecked me. If it didn't, I probably would have finished like 7th, but nope. Instead, I got turned hard right into the wall, and everyone hit me. So, like,
There was
I'll go on.
No, I'll let you finish.
I just say, like, I think everyone like hit my car.
Yeah.
There was a moment where I got to think to myself, like, okay, this wreck's happening. What are my options? And I had a sense of clarity and said to myself, you know what? There's no avoiding this. Hold the wheel straight. Press down even harder on the gas pedal. Let's just see if I can go under these people. Because I knew there was no other alternative. It was just kind of peace of mind knowing, like, it could be kind of meh. It could be really bad. I mean, it's out of my hands.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Yeah. But yeah, that was pretty much it. Eagle somehow has gone from never winning a race in a series to winning.
He is the hottest driver in Nitro right now.
But reality comes. But I think he's gonna get slapped back to reality this week.
So, what is?
Oh, we all will.
What is the situation with like winners in that last champion or chase spot? is it most wins outside of
11th through 20th most wins.
I mean, odds are he does end up in that kind of group,
I think he does too.
which
I have a sneaking. I have a pretty good feeling of what the top 4 drivers are gonna be.
yeah, I think
Uh-huh.
I think there's some pretty obvious names in there.
Yeah, I think there are 2, and then there's another group that will just are good enough to make it on points no matter really what happens, and then after that,
Say, I could see a pretty tight fight for 10th place, and honestly, I could see Eagle in there. Like, I think, like,
yeah,
if he can just stay consistent, he might be able to get in just on points alone and not having to bank off, like,
the win.
BSing his way to another win.
I like to think personally that I will outpoint him. I'm not trying to start a rivalry,
Yeah,
but earlier on, mind you, I probably am starting a rivalry by saying this. I kind of projected in my head like the kind of names would have to race for these last couple spots, and there's probably like 6 or 7 guys who I think, in myself being included, that's going to be in that 9th or 10th kind of position, and he just wasn't one of those names. But it honestly frustrates me that we could all be these kinds of drivers that get decent points, won't win, but he hangs in that 17th, 18th point range, and then the spot's just his.
I don't think he'll be that far down, but yeah. But that's just how it's gonna be.
Wanna
Yeah,
who
so
will be that far down? Me.
Yeah, probably. We'll also see what the turnout is after 4 or 5 weeks too.
yeah, and it might take me just a little extra longer to get online because next week we go to Homestead, and just based off my championship race actually went better than expected, but from what we were seeing in practice when I was a Toyota driver,
It wasn't good. It wasn't good.
I was not in tune.
No, I don't feel very good about this week. I mean, I feel pretty confident saying Mahu's probably going to win this week.
Mhm.
But I think once we start getting into these a couple of the short tracks, like Richmond, for example, is one of my stronger tracks, and hopefully I start to rattle off, like I said, like fringe top 5s, and that's how I start to bring my name into the picture.
Woo. Yeah.
I mean, I'm busting the wheel out for like the rest of the season, except for like, Talladega, so we'll see how that works out.
Yeah.
Plus, I have a good group of people who are willing to actually help me out for once finally. So that's good.
I don't think any of us all season are intending to really practice at all. So
Yeah,
I am just because it's. Yeah,
I know. I already know Mahu and Combat have already practiced for you guys.
once I kind of know my direction in the series, I'll be able to decide how recreational I'll be about it. Because if I could just fall on my face after these first, I don't know, 10 races or so, and it becomes abundantly clear that I'm in like a must-win scenario, I'm probably not going to put any practice whatsoever into races. But for the time being, maybe an hour collectively throughout the weeks is what I'm ballparking.
But we'll see, because we got that this weekend. But I think that's pretty much all we got to talk about for NASCAR, really.
Oh no, let's tell everyone about the points, which are the same results as the race.
Yeah, that's why I'm not talking about it. But and I mean, points aren't very interesting right now. It's one race. Who cares?
Exactly.
But
Move along.
I mean, then we look ahead to what we have this week, which I mean, we kind of already talked about Spain enough. Spain will be pain, and then we have Homestead.
I mean, that's gonna be pain too.
Yeah, yeah. We all remember last time we did split parties at Homestead in the Cup Series. Oh boy, that's That's going down the iceberg, to say the least.
Yeah, there's a couple members of the league that won't be there again. Hopefully that'll
Yeah.
mellow things out.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
one that where every lap was a caution, right?
After like the first 40 laps, yeah.
I feel like where we didn't add anyone new for the most part this season, and where we've kind of been filtering out a couple people
Yeah.
over the last couple seasons, like I feel pretty good about the people we have, and if split parties were gonna work, this is the most likely time it ever will,
Yep.
as
Mm-hmm.
far as history goes.
So it'll be interesting. I
It's
said
never
I
gonna
think
be.
I said I think Mahu's gonna win. I think that's pretty safe to assume.
Yeah,
Man's got hacks.
He's ridiculous, man.
I mean, how big's the season? 26 races,
23.
23. I mean, he's probably gonna finish with like 8 or 9 wins.
I wouldn't say I would say that. I mean, my early prediction is Jonathan and Mahu are gonna win the most races.
You think Kermit gets 1 or 2?
I'd imagine Kermit.
Possible.
Yeah. Realistic, what I think the top four is gonna be is Jonathan, Kermit, me, and Mahu. But we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, I don't think anyone would disagree that those are favorites, to say the least.
Yeah.
Who is someone that you think could like get us like a surprise win? Like, well, I mean, we know that Bacon's probably gonna win at least one race this season, but like, do you think Chafee could like maybe pull another one off?
I think he'll be like
Mm,
extremely consistent.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's ever gonna have that standout race or
He did
like,
have one last year.
well, under some extreme circumstances.
I didn't actually watch race. I don't know what happens though.
I didn't see that race either, but playoff tensions were running high, and
Uh,
he braked a little later than one normally would, but he did that potentially knowing that the car could kind of break his momentum.
Sir, I just short
it's
track
not-
racing.
That's a short. Yeah. But that's that. So Homestead, hopefully not a disaster. Hopefully not a disaster. Then we also have our Nitro Snowball Derby this weekend.
Uh, I still don't know if I'm gonna get it or not. I'm probably gonna have to buy another round of tracks here soonish, so maybe I'll get that.
Yeah.
It'll be a game time decision, to say the least. Not that I'm joining with any expectations of success.
Don't worry, Andrew's gonna win. Uh,
Is Blake gonna be in attendance?
yeah, apparently so.
Would he not have a crack? Maybe.
Not a chance in hell.
Mhm.
Wow.
Well, there you have it. Like, I'll more than likely show up. It's just that they changed my schedule at work, so now I have to work 6 days straight instead of having a bunch of off days because, well, some coffee thing, some Starbucks coffee has come through and eviscerated our amount of people who work at my Target. So
Oof.
yeah.
It's all fake.
Oh,
No. I take it back. It's a joke.
it's been clipped. Your career's over.
This
Well,
is not a political podcast.
no.
Shut up. Shut up. Anyway, moving on.
I think that's pretty much it though for what's coming up. So we got Spain, Homestead, and then Snowball Derby on Sunday night. Which
and
Gary might be broadcasting.
when are we starting the iRacing schedule? Is that pretty much in tune
Late February.
with? Okay,
Yeah,
so
I think it was the
The
week
27th.
after 500.
Yeah.
Yeah,
cool.
so that should be fun.
Guess that leaves us with one more topic.
What?
the
Oh boy.
the Nitro meetup question mark.
Oh God, yeah.
It's
What
gonna
happened
be
at Michigan? All started with a single quote from Chaffee saying, "Since Almirola is retiring, I want to see him race one last time."
Mm,
And I said,
That's horrible.
I said Michigan. There's like eight Nitro drivers within like 4 hours of the track.
and more who are more than likely willing to come as long
Yeah.
as like we like have our crap together.
That's a
and
disaster of a
everyone's
week in
willing
the
to.
making for sure.
I feel like you've been recruiting me a lot, considering how far away I live compared to other drivers.
You can make it.
Yeah, you see, every
Just
time
fly across the border. It's not that hard.
it really is that easy. I mean, there's going to be a lot of factors that go into it. Just
Yeah.
scheduling, still got to finish the passport, money, but I definitely would like to go.
Yeah.
Like,
I
if I
think
have the money, then like sure, but I'm just worried about like the redhead sat behind me. So
I don't know if you guys know this or not. You probably assume this, but I've just never been to a race, period, for anything.
car loud.
oh boy.
Cars are loud.
I went to I found my way to a monster truck rally like 5 or 6 years ago, but I mean, obviously that's not very comparable.
It is a very fun atmosphere that well. Unless have you ever been to a Canadian football game?
Um, Canadian football should just be like torn down and used as a farm system for the NFL. I do not
Okay.
care for the rules whatsoever. I've been to American football games, if that.
Ah, okay.
Like,
Well, you know what the tailgating's like, right? And all the the pregame stuff and all the
the
partying that people do.
tailgating is honestly better than the game itself.
Yeah. NASCAR has an NFL atmosphere when you show up. So, in my opinion, like
Yeah.
I've never been to an NFL game. I've been playing college games. It feels the exact same. Like going to MLB games is the most boring thing ever. But like football racing feels about the same. So
Yeah, I've been to a couple baseball games. One of them was actually really hype, but it was like the Red Sox and Astros in like 2017, and like 2 games left in the season, and if the Red Sox won, they clinched the pennant, and they were literally bringing
okay, yeah.
like starters out of the bullpen just to secure the win.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sweet Caroline during the 7th inning stretch, you're just putting your arms around strangers, just singing to your heart's content.
Yikes. Well, yeah, NASCAR races are sometimes
It's
crazy.
anything that crazy like that in a NASCAR race, but maybe Daytona when the third lap happens, but that's about
Alright,
it.
here's my question. If I go to Michigan, what are the odds I can meet Michael McDowell?
So,
Depends on if one, he's like signed up for some like autograph thing, or two, if you decide to go deep into your pot of gold and get pit passes and whatnot, in which case probably pretty easy.
Hmm.
I don't
It
think
seems
any.
like-
I don't think anyone's gonna want pit passes because like we're just gonna be hanging out the entire time at the
Yeah.
track.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
He seems like a very good person to his fans, whoever likes him.
All
Not
5
gonna
of them.
Yeah. I think he's underrated. I'm just gonna say it. I'm not saying he deserves like an SHR ride, but I think he can do things in better equipment.
Apparently, Ryan Priest does.
Let me tell you something from someone who's been around here. Wow. This man died at Texas in the COT.
Listen, does he still need to be remembered for that?
Yes.
Always. Always.
I mean, yes, he hit like speedy drive, but like how you overcorrect that badly and do that?
It was incredible, to be honest.
He's
But
lucky that it was the COT. If it was the old car, oh my god.
He's had to go through a lot just in like start
Yeah.
park to even get to this front row motorsport.
Yeah, admittedly, it is nice though to see that like he did get himself back into, I'll say, a mid-tier ride, especially because he sat around the LFR car for a long time, and the only notable thing that happened to him in that car was he got sent flying literally through the catch fence at Watkins Glen. How that happened?
Yeah, but I think that's pretty much everything we need to talk about tonight, though. Yeah, we'll be back next week for another episode about what happened.
Thank you for watching.
Thanks for watching. Yeah, but I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.